Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the price of Bitcoin is continuing the rejection from this resistance, as the price of Bitcoin is now running into this critical area of support in the short term, getting closer towards a possible break to the downside. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside the price of Solana, which is already right now starting to break below a critical level of support, pointing towards potentially much lower prices, while the price of XRP is still currently playing out this short-term warning signal. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin, technically speaking, is still within a bull market on the larger timeframes, because at least as of right now, we've not yet confirmed any massive lower highs or lower lows, which means technically speaking, we're still seeing higher lows and higher highs, which is indeed a larger bullish trend, also known as a bull market. But obviously during these larger bull markets here, we can see short-term pullbacks and dumps and sideways consolidations here and there along the way during the bull market. So just keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at this 4-day Bitcoin chart, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bullish trend. But if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, we recently confirmed a bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD, which obviously is a bit of a bearish signal for the price of Bitcoin. And in fact, just over the last 1 day, we've now officially seen a second confirmation signal, actually confirming the bearish crossover here, with a second weekly candle close confirming it in place. So obviously this just further cements the bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. And as I've already been saying for weeks now, the last couple of times this has happened, this signal in this time frame for the price of Bitcoin in this indicator, the last couple of times this has happened, we did see either a pullback in the price of Bitcoin or potentially more of a bearish trend in the price of Bitcoin, either over the next couple of weeks or the next few months, as a likely outcome based on these previous examples. But as of right now, we are seeing a small amount of bearish momentum building in the MACD indicator, but not necessarily a significant amount of bearish momentum. So keep that in mind. At least as of right now, this is not exactly telling us we're going to see a major crash like this, but possibly a little bit more of a pullback, or at the very least some more choppy sideways price action is a likely outcome based on this signal. Basically, this signal is not telling us we're going to see a lot of bullish momentum anytime soon. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, it's also backed up by this massive bearish divergence, which is still here on the weekly Bitcoin chart, with higher highs confirmed in the price and lower highs confirmed in the weekly Bitcoin RSI. And obviously, just like pretty much any bearish divergence, this tells us that we're losing a lot of bullish momentum. In other words, we're slowing down in the bull market. Now, a bearish divergence does not necessarily mean the complete end of the bull market. Obviously, we did see a bearish divergence back here near the end of 2021 and a bear market coming next, but we also saw a small bearish divergence right here in the price of Bitcoin between the price and the RSI, of course, with higher highs in the price and lower highs in the RSI around the second quarter of 2023, in the first half of 2023. And what came next around mid-2023 was a bit of a pullback over the next 1 or 2 months, but not necessarily a major bear market. And so just keep that in mind. Once again, these signals are not guaranteeing that the bull market's over or anything like that. We've not yet confirmed the end of the bull market, but what we should be expecting is not really a lot of bullish momentum, at least over the next few weeks. As I've already been saying over the last couple of weeks, I've been saying we should be expecting at the very least either some choppy sideways price action, but honestly, as a likely scenario, potentially a little bit more bearish price action, but not necessarily a major crash. So potentially price action kind of like what we saw right around here as a likely scenario in the next few weeks, or possibly longer, but at least over the next couple of weeks. But if you want to get set up ready to go to take the next trading opportunity in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take most of my trades right now over on Bitfinex, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bitfinex below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim some massive bonuses simply just by trading crypto. So by trading crypto using that link, you can get up to 35,000 in a USDT bonus into your account, which you can actually withdraw, or you could get a brand new Rolex or an Apple Vision Pro or an Apple MacBook Pro, etc., simply just by trading crypto, but those rewards are only available if you actually use the link below this video to make your Bitfinex account and start trading on that account. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And also, in case you're wondering, Bitfinex is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And with that being said, taking a look at this Bitcoin chart on the 8-hour time frame, looking at the shorter term, the price of Bitcoin is clearly running into this area of support where previously we have seen a lot of support in this price range, multiple major bounces from this area. And the area I'm talking about, in case you're new to this channel, is sitting in between around 95,000 to 96,000. But obviously, as of right now, at least at the time of recording this video, we're getting very close to potentially breaking below this support. But obviously, as of recording this video, we've not yet confirmed a break below the support. But if we actually confirm a break below around 95,000, for example, with candle closes below 95,000, in that case, we'll likely see a move down towards this next area of support, which is sitting in between around 92,000 to 93,000, and in particular around 91 to 92k is also a very critical level for the price of Bitcoin. And if we actually see some sort of bounce from this support, like what we've seen many times over the last couple of weeks, in that case, we still have a lot of resistance at around 98 to 99,000 approximately. And above that, we have more resistance in between 101,000 to 103,000, and significant resistance in between 106,000 to 107,000. And if we're taking a look at this short-term Bitcoin chart on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that right now the price of Bitcoin is obviously continuing this rejection from this descending line of resistance, which at that time was sitting at just underneath 98,000, but as of right now is sitting closer towards around 97.5k. And so once again, if we somehow see some sort of bounce here from this horizontal support that I just mentioned earlier, in that case, expect potentially resistance to start at around 97.5k. And by the time we even hit that line, it might be a little bit lower, so closer towards around 97,000 as the next major point of resistance, at least in the short term. And as for support, if we break below around 95,000, this horizontal support, of course, we have that lower area of support that I just mentioned earlier, but we also have this descending line of support right here for this descending broadening wedge pattern, which is currently sitting at roughly around 93.7k. And of course, in the immediate short term, as the price is playing out this short-term rejection, of course, we are looking slightly more bearish than we are bullish, but ultimately we're still somewhat neutral in terms of the momentum here. Of course, we're currently seeing a bit of a short-term bearish movement, but we're not really seeing a massive amount of bearish momentum or bullish momentum for that matter, because if we're looking at the general trend in the price of Bitcoin for the last couple of weeks, it's mostly been sideways, just chopping around sideways with short-term bullish moves and short-term bearish moves. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, as of right now, we still have a decent amount of liquidity to the upside at around 99,000 approximately, and also just above 100,000. But with that being said, it's looking like the price of Bitcoin is approaching this downside liquidity, which is sitting at just underneath 94,000, more specifically around 93.7k to 93.8k. So that is definitely a level to watch out for here in the short term. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin and crypto funding rates, right now, the Bitcoin funding rates in particular are actually only just below the neutral rate on average, because the neutral rate is 0.01%. So there's not too much happening with the Bitcoin funding rates, but some of these altcoin funding rates, in particular, the XRP funding rates and also the BNB funding rates, are actually drifting well into the negative direction in regards to the BNB funding rates here. But the XRP funding rates are also almost all below zero, and of course very much below the neutral rate of 0.01%. So this basically means there's a lot of people interested in shorting these crypto assets that have the negative funding rates, like BNB and XRP, for example. A lot of traders are currently bearish on these crypto assets, trying to short and actually pay premiums and extra fees in order to short these crypto assets. So just keep that in mind. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at Ethereum on this weekly time frame, right now the price of ETH is still just hanging on to this massive ascending line of support, which is currently sitting at just above 2.6k. So 2.6k is definitely an important level for the price of ETH to actually hold above, especially when it comes to the weekly candle closes here. But if we were to see a confirmed break below around 2.6k, in that case, I'll be mainly focusing on these previous lows closer towards around 2.3k, or if we're looking at the candle wick low, we're talking about around 2150, just above 2.1k. But if we're taking a look at the 3-day time frame, we can see that right now the price of ETH is still basically chopping around sideways within a sideways price range, bouncing between support and resistance. First of all, we have a lot of resistance at roughly around 2.8k, which we pretty much rejected from over the last one day, from close to 2.8k acting as resistance. And as for support, we still have a decent amount of support at roughly around 2.5k, and as I said earlier, around 2.6k. So for now, the price is basically just bouncing around sideways between that support and that resistance. But if we were to actually confirm a break below not only 2.6k but below 2.5k, in that case I'll be targeting around 2.3k. And once again, below 2.3k we have the golden pocket sitting in between around 2150 to 2.2k, acting as strong support. But if we can finally see candle closes actually confirming a breakout well above 2.8k, and especially if we flip 2.8k into new support again, like what you saw previously, then in that case, we'll likely see a continued relief, at least up towards around 3,000 to 3.1k, and then around there would likely find some more resistance. But for now, the price is basically chopping around sideways within a bit of a sideways price range between support and resistance, so not much else to add here for Ethereum. So getting straight into the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, and as of right now, the price of Solana is continuing to play out this bearish pattern right here, or at least the bearish breakdown from this triangle pattern, because obviously, as I've already been saying over the last few days here, ever since we confirmed that first little 8-hour candle close just below this ascending line of support, which was sitting at around $192 to $193. The moment we just started to break below that line of support, that technically activated this bearish price target for this triangle pattern, which is still sitting at around $167 to $168 approximately. And as of right now, at the time of recording this video, the price of Solana is currently closer towards the price target than it is to the actual point of the breakdown. And so obviously, if you took this as a short-term trading opportunity by, for example, simply just shorting the price of Solana, let's just say the moment we confirmed a break below that ascending line of support, activating this bearish price target, obviously right now, if you took that short position, took this trading opportunity, you should be doing pretty well, actually making money in crypto, even while we're seeing bearish price action. And in case you're new to this channel, yes, you can do that with short positions. For example, you can actually profit from bearish price action. And once again, if you want to trade any of these moves just like that, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those extra bonuses. And with that being said, when it comes to support and resistance to watch out for, at the time of recording this video, we're currently attempting a break below this important area of support, which is sitting in between around 178 to 183. But technically speaking, the break below that area of support is not yet fully confirmed with candle closes below that area. So we still need to see some more confirmation here to actually confirm that break below this support. But if that actually confirms, then we're simply likely just going to head towards this price target once again at around 167 to 168. And below that price target, we also have this area of support in between around 156 to 161. And if we actually confirm the break below this support at roughly around 180 with confirmation, in that case, that area of support will likely become new resistance. But if we never confirm the breakdown here, and instead we actually quickly regain that area of support and hold above that area, in that case, of course, we still have a lot of resistance further towards the upside. For example, at around 190, I would expect resistance right around there, and also more resistance in between around 200 to 205. And if we're taking a look at the daily Solana chart, as of right now, the price of Solana is attempting a break below this very important horizontal line of support, which was previous resistance and also important support for quite some time, for multiple months now. And that line of support is, of course, the $180 level. As I just mentioned, of course, we have support at roughly around 180, but we are currently attempting a break below that line of support. But as I just said earlier, that potential break below 180 is not fully confirmed. We still need to wait for at least a candle close close below 180, ideally on the daily time frame, but at the very least on the 8-hour time frame below around 178, if that's the case on the 8-hour time frame, or on the daily time frame below 180. And below this level of support, if we simply just continue this pullback here, the next important structural level of support for the price of Solana based on previous resistance and support is sitting at around $158. So we'll likely see the price head down towards at least around 160 and maybe just below 160, where we'll find the next major support as a very likely scenario if we first actually confirm the break properly below 180. And also another reason why $180 is a very important level for the price of Solana is not only because it was previous important support, but it's also the activation point to potentially confirm a larger double top pattern, also known as an M pattern, because essentially the $180 level roughly is the neckline. In other words, the point of the breakdown for a massive double top pattern, which will actually confirm as a massive double top, potentially sending the price much lower if we confirm the break below 180. So for the bulls out there, essentially the price needs to quickly reclaim that level before this candle close, ideally, or even after we see one candle close. If we could just simply quickly get back above that level, we could potentially avoid that pattern fully confirming and heading down towards the downside, obviously, to much lower prices. If we can very soon get back above that level, that's what we need to see for the bulls out there in order to avoid a massive double top on the daily time frame. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the daily time frame, right now, as of recording this video, the price of XRP is still currently retesting this previous area of resistance to possibly flip it into new support, but this is sitting in between around $2.58 to $2.73. But obviously, as of right now, we've not yet fully confirmed this as support. We're still in the test phase. So of course, if we actually confirm candle closes on the daily time frame back below around $2.58, then essentially we basically failed the breakout attempt here, and will likely head back down towards the next important area of support, sitting in between around $2.25 to $2.30, which was significant support previously. And below that area of support, we also have more support closer towards around $2. But of course, between now and then, we have a lot of support to pay attention to. And technically speaking, as of right now, we've not yet fully invalidated this larger bearish divergence. So at least for now, this massive bearish divergence on the daily time frame, which is also visible on slightly larger time frames like the 3-day chart, for example, is still currently active. It is still currently playing out, and especially if we break below around $2.58, then of course it will just continue to play out the larger bearish divergence here down towards the next support. And potentially one of the reasons causing this short-term pullback in the price of XRP is, of course, the short-term bearish divergence, which I've already been warning about for days now on the channel. Since the price was basically all the way back up here, I said we have a bearish divergence now active on the 2-hour XRP chart, with higher highs confirmed in the price and lower highs confirmed in the RSI. And as usual, a bearish divergence either results in simply just a pullback in the price, or at the very least choppy sideways price action. So I said right around here, that is the point to take profits from long positions, for example. Not financial advice, but that is exactly what I said when the price was back up here, because essentially a bearish divergence means we're not really going to see a lot of bullish momentum, at least for the next few days, when we're talking about a bearish divergence on the 2-hour time frame. And so this is pretty much perfectly played out as expected over the last few days, and it could possibly play out for a little longer. Usually I don't necessarily rely on a bearish divergence for too much longer than just a few days if we're talking about the 2-hour time frame, but technically speaking, we've not yet confirmed any invalidation signal to invalidate this bearish divergence. And especially on the larger time frame here, we have that larger bearish divergence. So at least for now, at least in the short term, we are most likely going to see either a little bit more of a pullback, or maybe just some choppy sideways price action as a likely scenario, just playing out this bearish divergence. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Chainlink on the 6-hour time frame, over the last one day, Chainlink has yet again seen another rejection from this area of resistance, which I've been warning about over and over again here on the channel, which mainly the resistance is sitting in between around $19.50 to $20, but really in between around $19.50 to $20.50. That's the larger point of resistance, but once again, the main area of resistance I'll be watching is in between $19.50 to $20. So we need to see a breakout at least above $20 in order to start potentially flipping a little bit more bullish again in the short term, expecting more of a relief up towards around $22, and then close to $22 would likely find more resistance around there. But obviously for now, we're still struggling a lot around $19.50 to $20, as I said the price would over the last couple of weeks here, and of course it has been playing out exactly as expected. But even though the price is rejecting from resistance as of right now, of course, we're not really seeing a significant amount of bearish momentum. If we're looking at the current trend, at least in the short term here, it's actually relatively neutral. We're simply just chopping around sideways, bouncing around between support and resistance. So right now, we are seeing the rejection from resistance, but we could likely see a bounce at some point from a level of support. And we do have significant support at close to $18 approximately. And we could also find a bit of support at roughly around $18.50 as well. And so other than that, not much else has really changed here for the price of Chainlink. So once again, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those extra bonuses using those links. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.